Introducing Instagram Teen Accounts, a new way to keep your teens safer as they grow, like making sure they've got the right gear for riding.
Knee pads.
Check.
And helmet?
Done. See you, Dad.
New Instagram Teen Accounts, automatic protections for who can contact your teen and the content they can see.
Public schools across the country are facing a funding crisis, and classrooms are going without the essentials like pencils and books. But with the help of Donors Choose, people like you connect directly with teachers so students get what they need to succeed. Learn more at donorschoose.org today.
Go up above your life for a week, maybe 2 weeks. Write down everything that you eat. And not from a place of shame, and don't even adjust anything. Don't try and fix anything, but just get a clear look at what you are actually consuming. How much water are you taking in? How many calories are you drinking? Like, are you having soda? Are you having juice? What is going on in the course of a week? Plus, you said you worked out. Like, okay, what are your workouts? Is there cardio involved in that? If you are trying to drop weight, you have to have cardio as part of your workout routine. Go above, look at your life, and be real. We don't have to be afraid of the truth. Whatever it is we're trying to face, you guys, you don't have to be afraid of the truth. Be afraid of living your life lying to yourself and then feeling confused about why things are the way they are. Hey guys, it's Rach. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad that you're here with us today. And I have a favor, which sounds kind of harsh if we just met, but I'm assuming that most of you have been a part of this community for a hot minute. And so I gotta ask, are you subscribed to the podcast? Subscribing to the podcast you listen to regularly is one of the best things that you can do for hosts like me. It helps to support the show and the staff that works on it. It ensures that you never miss an episode when we drop a new one. And here's the cool thing about subscribing. If you do it and then you hate this show, just unsubscribe. It's one click away. In the meantime, if you're listening, we would so appreciate it if you would just tap that button and make it official. Hi guys, it's Rach. Welcome to a new episode in our Ask Rach series. This is where I listen to voicemails from callers. Those are you guys. And I answer your questions. And people call in from all over the world and they ask me a bit of everything. If you have a question you'd like featured here on an episode, the number is 737-400-4626. And as always, you and I are going to hear these voicemails at the same exact time, meaning I do not prep, I don't write out answers, I just answer as if I was sitting at coffee with you. So as soon as you hear the voicemail, so do I, and my answer is in the moment. I am not a doctor, I am not an expert. I'm pretty excited about some of the questions I see on my list that producer Jack put together, but I always feel the need to remind you that I am a random chick you know on the internet. So if I say something that resonates with you and you think it will be helpful, try it. And if I say something that you hate, that sounds ridiculous, that you know won't work, just absolutely ignore everything I said. But let's jump into our first question today.
Hey, Rach. I would just love your raw, unfiltered gut instinct. My question, long story short, I have 3 kids, had them in 5 years, and my youngest is now 2. This is regarding kind of health, body, a whole bit, and I know it's hard to cram this into one voicemail. But I just feel like I gave myself grace. I have a coming up on 2-year-old now. Oh, when I'm sleeping better. Oh, when I'm working out more. Oh, the things that I knew I had to be patient with myself for health. And I don't eat crazy. And I go to the gym. And I lift weights. And I go on walks. And I do things that bring me joy for my mental health. My question is, I just really freaking want to feel good in my body. And it's not that I don't. I know that I am not at my best health-wise. Like, I can feel it. I can feel the inflammation. I can just feel extra weight is not a helpful, this is my new mom bod me. It feels a little more than that. Also, I don't want to freaking spend money on clothes over and over and over again to feel good. I got my good pieces. I've done the things. I've listened to you. I have some outfits that I feel great in the body that I have, you know? Anyways, I was talking to friends because I'm just like, okay, I'm coming up short. I was talking to friends of like, hey, I just got to ask people what they're doing because more knowledge will help me. And 3 friends in a row, I had no idea, were doing like the tirzepatide injections that help curb the appetite. And, you know, it's all the rage. And you know this, you live in California. Anyway, it's so tempting. But then I'm like, am I cheating? But I also don't know what to do next. And I just feel stuck in that. But God, it would be really great to like just lose 10 pounds because everything else would fit. And I'm just not moving the needle. And I just feel like I need somebody to just keep it real with me and tell me, yeah, you're a cheater. Or I can't be the only one that swirls like this. Thank you so much. And yeah, if this strikes your fancy, love to hear back. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, sister. First of all, we're going to change her name because she asked us to. So we're going to call her Becky. Becky with the good hair. We're going to call her Becky. And a great reminder that if you guys call in, you can ask us to change your name or leave your voice out or change your voice. We have all sorts of ways to keep it anonymous. I love your questions, and I think the more authentic and raw they are, the more helpful they are to the wider community. So please keep them coming, and we will always respect your privacy. And this is a freaking juicy and delicious question. I always aim to have Ask Rach episodes be like if we were having coffee and chatting it up and being real. And for sure, we would have all talked about this, right? Because this is such a hot topic. Everyone's discussing it. And of course, I have opinions. I am going to caveat my opinions by saying, number one, I am not a doctor. Obviously, none of you thought that I was. Number two, I have talked to doctors about Ozempic and all of the different things on the show, but I would not call that a proper doctor consultation. And this is one of those things that you absolutely have to seek professional medical opinion on. I'm going to give you my opinion. Becky asked for unfiltered, raw, truthful. You're going to get that, but I just am adding, not a doctor, don't know what I'm talking about, just your friend Rach telling you her ideas. Okay. In no particular order, first of all, I have 2 pretty close people in my life who are currently on Ozempic. And one of them is a family member that when I found out they were doing it, I was terrified. Yeah, I was. I was so freaked out. And I'm going to explain to you why I was freaked out. But before I do that, I would also like to add that both of the people in my life that I know of, I'm sure there are other people that I don't, but both of the people in my life that I know of would be, I am guessing they would be considered obese when they started the regimen. There's no judgment there. I just want you to know, and I mention it because Becky said, I just want to lose 10 pounds. And so I want to talk about this both directions, because if you want to lose 10 pounds, I think there are much easier ways to do it that are not so affecting of your overall system. So all of that to say, I have 2 people in my life that I know of that are on it. And when I found out they were on it, I was really nervous because it was probably a year ago now that they both got on it. And I am just so afraid of any medicine, you guys, like any medicine. I think our bodies, for the most part, I know not everybody, but for the most part, our bodies are very wise and our bodies know what it needs and they speak to us. And if we are listening, our body's like, hey, sister, you need more water. Hey, you need to stretch more. Hey, you need less stress. Like our body is giving us symptoms that are indicating that there is a bigger root cause that we need to address. But modern medicine, specifically Western medicine, encourages people to take a pill, to take a shot, to, get all of this stuff in their system that might treat the symptom in front of you, but then cause other side effects that create other symptoms. And now we're treating the other symptoms that were side effects. So I am so wary of medicine. So you're just going to hear from my perspective as someone who tries really hard. Like, I don't even want to take Tylenol if I don't have to. So the Ozempic thing really scares me because I don't think we have enough data yet. And yeah, you might have data of the people who are on it now or the people that they've tested, but we don't know long term. Like, it scares me. I'm not saying it's bad. It just scares me to put anything in our body that can affect us that much. So when I found out these two people that I really love and care about were doing it, I was nervous. That being said, they both have had really positive results. Like, I've seen such incredible positive change for both of them because they were obese. Like, it wasn't a 10-pound thing. And I've known both of them. One's a family member, so I've known them my whole life. But the other one is someone I've known for like 10 years. I've really seen them struggle, and then all of a sudden you sort of remove that struggle. I was concerned, but guess what? It's not my body and it's not my life. And they both have experienced really positive change because of doing this thing. But I also think, at least for one of them, there were some pretty harsh side effects. Like, she is still nauseous a lot. Like, she's just sort of living with nausea. And yeah, she's losing weight because she's not as hungry anymore. But I don't know. It feels a bit twisted because it's like, well, yes, you are healthier, right? So if you aren't carrying around all of this extra weight, then you're healthier. But if the quality of your life sucks because you're nauseous 24 hours a day, but you're thin, I don't know. It feels like sort of twisted. So there's that piece that I just go, well, is that, or like, I know someone like their hair fell out. Like, I'm just like, it doesn't feel like an even thing. But I think, again, you've got to go to the individual person and what do you want for your body? Because I'm healthy. I don't want to take medicine. I had a boob job. After I had all my kids and my boobs were basically stretched out skin with a giant nipple, I was like, I don't want this. And I consider it one of the best decisions I've ever made. It's like, gosh, Ford's 12, so it's probably 12 years ago now. And I'm so glad that I did it. Because it absolutely changed the confidence I had in my body. I know that I should this, and this. Like, I should be confident and I should be like, oh, this is amazing. And I should, whatever. It's my body. I felt great about that choice. I get Botox. I feel freaking fantastic about that choice because these are things that make me feel better. So I don't know. It's your body. You talk to your doctor says, yeah, it's a thing. I just think it is not as simple as I take this thing and it helps me lose weight. I just think there's more to it than that. And that's what scares me, is that we just don't know how it might affect our bodies. Those are my thoughts. Now let's just pretend that we're like putting the Ozempic on the back burner for a second. Because if it's 10 pounds, now again, I don't know, guys, because I'm not a doctor and I haven't talked to my doctor about this. But it seems like a huge undertaking for 10 pounds. So either Becky, it's more than 10 pounds, and maybe just didn't want to say that, which I totally understand, or it really is 10 pounds, in which case I actually just talked about this in another Ask Rach, that it's way easier to lose 10 pounds than we think. But we've been made to believe that living in a healthy way is just this huge mountain that we cannot climb and it's too hard and all of that. Allow me to unpack. And first I have to go woo-woo. I have to go woo-woo and I have to just talk about this. If you take a medicine, and my understanding is that when you take any of these meds, it suppresses your appetite. So you eat less, so you lose weight. If you lose weight because your appetite is suppressed, it's like I'm assuming very similarly to when it was so popular to get gastric bypass or to do the lap band surgery or whatever. It made your stomach smaller, then you couldn't eat as much, then you lost weight. The issue is that you are changing something physically in your body, but you are not changing the way you see yourself. And you are not changing your mindset. And you are not changing who you believe yourself to be. So if you are a person who has struggled with their weight their entire life, and now you take this medicine that will help you to not want to eat as much, if you don't also do the therapy and also do the work and also do what you need to do to change the way you see yourself, the only option would be to stay on that medicine for the rest of your life, right? Again, you guys are like, no, after 5 years, you build up antibodies and then you don't need it anymore. I don't know how it works. But assuming that it's not magic, if you don't change yourself, then nothing really has changed. I think you guys know this, but in case you don't, my happy place is on the beach. Actually, that's not enough. My happy place is on the beach with an iced coffee in my hand. What a vibe. There are a lot of beaches out there, but there's only one people call the beach. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, is made up of 14 coastal communities and 60 miles of sunny beaches. Together, they create a place that makes you feel like you belong. Shine and dine in a foodie haven with oceanfront patios, fresh seafood, low country classics, and southern favorites. Plus, my favorite, you can listen to live music any day of the year, outside at laid-back beach bars, at world-renowned theaters, or right on the boardwalk. You belong at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Plan your trip to the beach at visitmyrtlebeach.com. If you've ever learned about nutrition in a way that you didn't know before, and suddenly you're way more thoughtful about what your food is made with, what's on the back of the label, it can be really confusing when you're first starting out to understand what means what you should buy for your family, and what you should leave at the store. Well, now you can spend less time at the grocery store thanks to Thrive Market, your new go-to online grocery store for getting all of your healthy essentials delivered. With over 1,000 harmful ingredients banned from their store, Thrive Market's team of product researchers do the hard work so you don't have to spend all of your time trying to figure out what is in the food you are ordering. Finding better options for your whole family is super easy with Thrive Market's Healthy Swap Scanner. You can scan a product you already have and it instantly recommends healthier items. Ready to make the switch? Go to thrivemarket.com/Rach for 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/Rach. thrivemarket.com/Rach. Did you ever hear about those people who got lap band where they would like put a band around the stomach and it would make the stomach like half of its normal size? And so you could only eat a certain amount. You'd be full so fast and then they would lose all of this weight. Well, did you ever know anybody, because I did, who had the lap band surgery and then stretched out their new stomach? Because they didn't change anything else about themselves. They got sort of a quick fix. I don't know the answer, but I guess I would say if you are using Ozempic or its brethren, or you're thinking about it, at the very least, just be mindful that that can't be the only thing. Use it as a launching pad. Use it as something that propels you to like go to therapy to, kickstart your health journey. Don't use it as your only answer. I think it has the potential to be a great support tool if you want it for that. But if you don't change yourself, you don't change yourself, Like one of the people that I know who takes it did not change the way she eats at all. She eats almost exclusively junk food. She doesn't listen to this, so I feel like I can say it. She eats almost exclusively junk food. Now she just eats junk food in really small quantities. Like it almost gave her in her mind, she almost has a pass to eat absolute garbage because she's just going to eat a little bit of it. And that freaks me out too, because I'm like, you have no nutritional, and I'm not saying that that's everybody, but I just really be thoughtful about there is no such thing as a magic pill. There isn't. Certainly there are magical things that can make you thin, but thin does not mean healthy. And for all of us, for Becky, we want everybody to be healthy. So just make sure that whatever path you decide to walk, you're still being thoughtful, you're still taking in good nutrition, you're getting those greens, you're getting that protein, you're getting the good stuff. Now, if it's really 10 pounds, Becky, really, you want my honest, unfiltered answer? No freaking way should you be going on medication for 10 pounds. No way. That 10 pounds, I know it feels insurmountable when you're inside of it. It really isn't. 10 pounds, anybody listening to this, 10 pounds is you needing to go 50,000 feet in the air and look at your life truthfully. Have you ever heard that term, to go 50,000 feet up? So instead of being in your life, in your days, you need to go up above your life for a minute. It's why the old school philosophy, when you would go to a nutritionist back in the 80s, 90s, whatever, maybe they still tell people to do it. They would say to keep a food journal. And people would freak out, man. They get so upset, oh, that makes people obsess about their food, whatever. No, it actually makes you really aware of what you take in. That was very important for me when I was younger, because I did not understand how much I was consuming. I didn't understand the quantity. I didn't understand how often I was snacking. That kind of stuff adds up. It's the little things that add up to 10 pounds. And because they're little, if you can recognize them and start to eliminate them or replace them with a healthier option, you probably won't even miss them. If you're trying to lose 50 pounds, whoa, okay, yeah, that's a lot. We're going to have to work at the 10 pounds. Dude, that's some healthy choices. That's okay, I'm not going to have sugar in my coffee anymore. I'm not going to get the fun drink at Starbucks. I'm not going to snack on candy when I see it. I'm not going to finish the kids' food. Yeah, those dinosaur chicken nuggets are delicious, but I'm going to go ahead and put them in a Tupperware back in the fridge, or I'm going to throw them in the trash. I'm not going to be the one who's, eating snacks and different things. I'm not going to have that glass of wine. 10 pounds is a bunch of tiny little habits that you probably don't even realize you have. So if it's really that, go up above your life for a week, maybe 2 weeks. Write down everything that you eat, and not from a place of shame, and don't even adjust anything. Don't try and fix anything, but just get a clear look at what you are actually consuming. How much water are you taking in? How many calories are you drinking? Are you having soda? Are you having juice? What is going on in the course of a week? Plus, you said you worked out. Okay, what are your workouts? Is there cardio involved in that? If you are trying to drop weight, you have to have cardio as part of your workout routine. Go above, look at your life, and be real. We don't have to be afraid of the truth. Whatever it is we're trying to face, you guys, you don't have to be afraid of the truth. Be afraid of living your life lying to yourself and then feeling confused about why things are the way they are. I think if it's 10 pounds, there are way easier ways for you to take this on. Now, here's the last thing I'm going to add to this. I haven't seen studies. I don't know this for sure, but it is already hard enough to be healthy and manage our lives with our existing cycles and the hormones they throw at us. Something that is going to affect your whole body and your whole system, like Ozempic, it really makes me nervous about how that might affect our hormones. And I haven't done research. I have not looked into this, but I just feel like if there is any other alternative, you should look into it. 10 pounds, it's a bunch of tiny things. You probably won't miss them, but you have to be honest about what they are. You take on one at a time. Like, I used to have coffee with sugar and cream every day. Every day of my life, sugar and cream. And I'm having 3 or 4 cups of coffee a day back then. So that's a lot of sugar and that's a lot of cream. And I was like, okay, I got to get away from this drink because I can see how much calories are in it. So I'm like, okay, well, which one do you love the most? Do you want to get rid of cream or do you want to get rid of sugar? So the first thing that I started doing was just putting less and less and less sugar. And then I went to Splenda because I still wanted a little bit of sweetener. And then I realized how awful that is because the chemicals. So I finally just weaned myself off of any sweetness in my coffee. Now we're down to cream. And I just did less and less and less until I got to the place where I drink black coffee or black coffee with cinnamon. But just that could save you so many calories a day. There are all these little places that it's hidden, but we're too afraid to look because we think if we look at the truth, then we're going to beat ourselves up and be like, oh, no, there's freaking strength in the truth. And then you get to choose, right? You're like, this is a perfect example. Kez is a baker. I think I've told you guys this. Just a phenomenal, I mean, all the things, amazing cook, what a lover, like so good at baking. Don't tell him I said that. He'll die. But he is a phenomenal baker. And I'm hormonal. So he was like, oh, do you want me to bake you anything this weekend? I said, yes, I want a chocolate cake. I love Magnolia Bakery. If you could figure out how to do the Magnolia chocolate cake with chocolate buttercream, that would be life-changing because then you could bake me that cake and I don't need to go get it from them and then I know exactly what's in it, whatever. So he baked the cake this weekend. Easily one of the best cakes I've ever had in my life. My mouth is watering thinking about it. Kids love it. I love it. OMG. Like just living my best life on Saturday night. After Saturday night dinner, we all had cake. It was awesome. I enjoyed every second of it. I didn't feel any shame about the cake and I didn't need cake the next day. So he made this amazing chocolate cake. We had it. It was delicious. And that's all I needed. Versus me at 22, in my refrigerator right now is the leftover chocolate cake. I would have eaten that last night. I would have eaten it today. I just like slowly would have binge eat the cake. And then simultaneously wouldn't have understood, well, why can't I lose the last of this baby weight? But it's like I would have this disconnect in my brain between what I thought should be happening and what was actually happening. And the changes I was able to start making to my health were when I understood what was really happening. There was just so many ideas, Becky and others. I hope that something I said was helpful. And if not, ignore it and go talk to your doctor.
Adam Pally here.
And I'm John Gabris.
We're a couple actors and best friends who you may know as the hosts of the TV show 101 Places to Party Before You Die.
Now, we're bringing you a comedic look at health and wellness with our new show, Staying Alive.
We'll have guests like our friend, actor Jerry O'Connell,
Ketamine therapist, Dr. Stephen Radowitz,
Paul Scheer,
Ego Wodum,
Jillian Bell,
Dr. Doolittle. Staying Alive with John Gabris and Adam Pally is out right now.
Get them a week early and ad-free with SiriusXM Podcast Plus on Apple Podcasts.
Earn a business degree on your terms. At Capella University, our FlexPath format is available in select programs and lets you learn on your schedule. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
Let's see what our next question is. Okay, let's see what this one says.
Hi, Rachel. My name is Courtney. I am 25 years old. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, and your podcast and your books have had a huge impact on my life. I have a question about dating. Dating apps are obviously a huge thing amongst a lot of people my age, and I've tried them a couple times, but I was born with half of my face paralyzed, and so I have a very unique craniofacial condition where I've gotten to a point in my life I'm very accepting of it. I think I'm a very beautiful human being for things that are far beyond my physical appearance. The hard thing is dating apps are very popular with my generation, and dating apps are very much about physical appearance, whether I want them to be or not. And I'm really trying to break through this fear of using them and going on dates where I will be judged for, quote unquote, what's wrong with my face. Even though I personally am very accepting of it, it's part of my story, I'm very open about it, I just know that I'm going to be putting myself out there and exposing myself to criticism and hurtful comments and all of those things, and I just don't know how to work through getting myself prepared to do that. And I feel like it's really blocking me from the potential of finding the love of my life and finding a partner. And as much as I want to be in love and I want to find that relationship, I can't seem to work past this block of that fear of judgment. So I guess my question is, how do I work through that very real fear? And thank you so much for everything that you put out there. You are very important to me, and I appreciate everything that you do. All right. Thank you.
Okay, Courtney, first of all, freaking good for you. Good for you for being willing to face the fear. Good for you for having the courage to admit that you are afraid. Because most people will go through their lives and miss out on a lot of stuff and not do what they want to do because they won't first just admit that the thing they're thinking about scares them. So that's amazing right off the bat. The first thing that I thought of is, number one, do you have to use the dating app? Okay, let's start there. I promise I'm going to give you ideas for how to use the dating app, but let's start with the fact, do you even need to use the dating app? Because there are advantages to anybody meeting people in real life, like going to a bar, joining the local softball league, showing up for pub trivia, just trying a bunch of stuff in your community and meeting people in real life so that you can make that energetic connection that you can never make on a dating app. So that's another option for you. But let's talk about the dating app itself. I met my husband on a dating app, so I understand how convenient they are. They're also very entertaining. One of my favorite parts of being single were just going through the options on the dating app with my girlfriends and laughing our butts off at the state of men in America. But removing that piece, but what I actually thought of was, and I hope that this doesn't sound harsh, if someone on a dating app judges you because of the way that you look, they're trash and you don't want that guy anyway, right? So it actually potentially is a fantastic filter of garbage people. Now, I don't know, because the app that I used, you had to both like say yes to each other before you were even allowed to communicate. And even then, when you could communicate, nobody was like inappropriate or said mean things. So sorry if I sound like a country mouse right now, but are there apps where men just go comment and say crappy things to women on the app about the way that they look? Because that sounds horrible. And I know there are apps like Bumble. I know Women Go First, and then Hinge isn't like, there's some where it's a they're higher standards, I think, question mark. So I guess, first of all, make sure you're on the right kind of app, because if you're on an app where men are just going on and making rude comments, like, ugh, don't put yourself in that situation. All of that being said, I worry that perhaps you are creating a reality before this reality has actually happened. So forgive me if I misheard, but in the past, when you went on these apps, did you encounter people who were rude? Did people say mean comments? Or flip side, are you not showing up authentically? Because, okay, I'm going to tell you Rachel, like how I would pursue this. I am obviously saying this as someone who is not in your shoes and who hasn't lived your life. So you could be like, girl, you don't know what you're talking about. I have had Bell's palsy 4 times, I think now. So facial paralysis, that only lasted for a month each time. So obviously I can't speak to what you're experiencing. But I'm trying to think about if I was single and I wanted to go out in the world and there was something about me physically that I was nervous about people saying something, but I really wanted to go out and be on this app. I think I would have to get to a place where I was like, screw it. I'm taking full on pictures exactly as I am. I'm rocking it. Like when I had Bell's palsy, I had to wear an eye patch. It was real sexy. I couldn't close my eyes, so I had to wear an eye patch. Like I would just like go full on, like here I am. I'd be funny about it. I'd show up authentically. I'd be like, this is who I am. Not in a like, sometimes people get militant about it, like take it or leave it. You know, they like they get really aggressive in their comments, which is honestly self-preservation. They're trying to like protect themselves. So like, you can't come at me because I'm already, you know, it's not that energy. It's just like, hey, I'm Courtney. Exactly what you told us, right? Hey, I'm Courtney. I was born with this. And it's the least interesting thing about me. Here are the 4 most interesting things about me. I love wiffle ball. I have 17 weenie dogs. I don't know, whatever your special skill sets are that are interesting. Like when you're hanging out with your friends and they're like, hey, can anyone, you know, make the sound like Chewbacca? And you're like, I got this. Be funny, be interesting, like show up as yourself. But can we lead with this being the least interesting thing about you, but also acknowledging it? Because then it's like, dude, come get to know me. And anybody who gets hung up on that, the least interesting thing about you, is not for you. So in a way, this app potentially is like an incredible filter to filter out the trash. Because somewhere in there are people who do not give a crap. Like they just don't care. Maybe they have family members who have similar, like they have something going on that they're like, oh, you know, I have this thing. And like, I love that you were so authentic. And like, here's how I'm being authentic. Like, you're just going to find your people. Y'all, when we show up as ourselves, unapologetically, not aggressively, but just unapologetically, confidently, this is who I am, you will find your people. And that is the whole goal, is to find your people. I would also do a little research. I just had the nudge to say this. Do a little research and see if you can find, like literally Google, go on YouTube, see what you can find for people who have similar situations and have gone on dating apps. Or maybe they tried a different route or they have some ideas, but when you want to do something and you feel like, well, I'm the only person who's ever attempted this before, for sure you're not. For sure there are so many other people who have experienced it and can give you ideas and tips. And I think that makes us feel so much more confident in what we're attempting to do because we see someone else who's gone on the path before us. But honestly, I stand by my original thought, which is anyone who acts like an a-hole on the app, anyone who's judging based on appearance, anyone who's that you literally have zero respect for that person anyway. So why would you want to connect with him on an app? I think sometimes we kind of accidentally try and show up and we're like, how can I convince you that I'm like the coolest version of myself? I had a family member who was on a dating app and she'd been on it forever. And she was just like, she would always just be like, oh my God, the men are such trash. They're such trash, like blah, blah, blah. And so one night at a family event, we were like, open up your, let us see what this is. And I was like, first of all, putting out the idea like men are such trash and I only attract trash, guess what the universe is going to send you more of? The thing you are focused on. Secondly, with all the love in my heart, I said to her, I was like, girl, with all the love in my heart, you are nowhere in this profile. She's like, what are you talking about? These are all my pictures. I was like, this is not you. You know, it's like, what do you like to do on the weekend? She's listing out like 15 things. Like, I love to do this and I go I've been skydiving and I'm like, the most weekends you are doing puzzles and going to the farmer's market. And that's awesome because you know who else likes to do puzzles and go to the farmer's market? Your dream partner. You're like, I do skydiving. I like this, that, and the other thing. Who are you? You're putting out a false version of yourself. And then you're surprised when you attract a bunch of guys who are full of shit. Of course you are attracting people who are full of it because you are not on purpose, but you are full of it. You're writing this profile as the very best ideal version of yourself that you've been like 2 days in the last year. Show up for real. Be like, I love a Bud Light and a hot dog and watching the baseball game on, I literally don't even know what day people play baseball. Saturday? Whatever day. Like, just show up for real. This is so ridiculous that this is my example to you guys. I understand. Just please know that I understand what I'm about to say is so dumb. I have a weird obsession with Benny Blanco and Selena Gomez being engaged and getting married and like loving each other. I literally have only discovered who he is because I liked her on Only Murders in the Building. I know. I'm so lame. I'm 1,000 years old, whatever. I was so tickled for them when they got engaged. Really don't know anything about their relationship, but I just think they're adorable. And when they got engaged, she's wearing this diamond ring that could sink a ship. A just beautiful, stunning diamond ring. And if I'm not mistaken, they had like a picnic. He asked her to marry him at a picnic with this diamond ring that just, shining like the top of the Chrysler building. And the picnic was Taco Bell because they love Taco Bell. And I just thought that was the cutest thing ever because they're both rich as Midas, connected, can get anything they want. He could have taken her to the top of the Eiffel Tower and had 5-star dining. And they both are just like, we love Taco Bell. And my guess is that they both are showing up in that relationship as themselves. Now, how many people go on the dating apps and are like, I love Taco Bell and watching Netflix and sleeping in. And every once in a while, I put on all my best clothes and I look like a supermodel and I go out and have a good time. But that's about once a month. And the rest of the time, I want to be in my soft pants watching Great British Bake Off. I freaking guarantee you would find some realness if you showed up with realness. You're trying to fill out your dating apps. Most people trying to fill out their dating apps like they're an Instagram influencer. Come on. Show up as the real you and let's see what happens. And like I said, are there assholes out there in the world, Court? Of course there are. And you've probably encountered them before, which means you probably have some fears from the past that are weaving themselves into the next stage of your life. But you create your own reality. If every day you get up and you see your day or you see your week or you see the month ahead based on the way that something has gone down in the past, then you are not creating your reality. You are just repeating a reality you've already lived. You can create your reality by focusing your thoughts on what you want to find out in the world, not what you have found in the past. So try showing up in this new space as yourself. If you feel like you get weird vibes, try a different app. If you try more than one app and it's not working, maybe that is the universe telling you the app world is not for you. But show up as yourself. And by the grace of God, maybe you will find someone who also shows up as themselves, and what a blessing that would be. If y'all have a question for me, please consider calling the hotline, 737-400-4626. I hope you got something out of today's episode. Take what was helpful, leave the rest. I will be back soon with more conversation. Until then, as always, I love you and I'm rooting for you. The Rachel Hollis podcast is produced by me, Rachel Hollis. It's edited by Andrew Weller and Jack Noble.
Adam Pally here.
And I'm John Gabris.
We're a couple actors and best friends who you may know as the hosts of the TV show 101 Places to Party Before You Die.
Now we're bringing you a comedic look at health and wellness with our new show, Staying Alive.
We'll have guests like our friend, actor Jerry O'Connell,
Ketamine therapist, Dr. Stephen Radowitz,
Paul Scheer,
Ego Wodo,
Jillian Bell,
Dr. Doolittle. Staying Alive with John Gabris and Adam Pally is out right now.
Get them a week early and ad-free with SiriusXM Podcast Plus on Apple Podcasts.
Earn a business degree on your terms. At Capella University, our FlexPath format is available in select programs and lets you learn on your schedule. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.